Good evening and welcome to the Mitsubishi Challenge Final Series. Game 1 of the best of 3 Grand Final Series tips off tomorrow night in Adelaide when the Giants take on the Sixers. 10's exclusive coverage can be seen live around the network at 8:30 p.m. from the Clipsal Powerhouse. Game 2 is next Friday and Game 3, if it's required, also at the Glasshouse, is scheduled for Sunday the 30th of October. To get you in the finals mood, we have a special presentation this evening focusing on the 1993 NBL Championship and the Melbourne Tigers. After entering the league in 1984, the Tigers spent a decade slowly building towards the force that took them all the way to the top 12 months ago. Sit back and enjoy the Tigers' tale. In 1931, the Melbourne Tigers Basketball Club was formed. Playing in small suburban church halls, young Ken Watson was entrusted with the club's management on and off the court. In the late 1950s, Watson recruited Lindsay Gaze to play for the Tigers and managed the Albert Park Basketball Stadium. Together, they won just about every state and national championship possible. This rare footage from the archives features Lindsay wearing the number 14 singlet. In 1965, Lindsay's wife Margaret gave birth to a bouncing baby boy named Andrew. Bouncing because he was brought up in this small cottage that adjoins the Albert Park complex. From the age of 5, it was obvious basketball was going to govern the life of Gaze Jr. After dominating amateur competitions, the Melbourne Tigers joined the National Basketball League in 1984. The first 5 years in professional ranks were spent at the bottom of the table. The 1990s have produced dramatic changes. The club enjoys more wins than losses. Andrew now receives payment for playing, and they've gone from Albert Park to Flinders Park. But all the glamour and professionalism hasn't altered the infrastructure of Australia's oldest basketball club. Ken Watson continues to nurture the young talent that walk through the doors of Albert Park. Lindsay still volunteers his services as coach. Andrew remains by his side. But one thing still remained elusive: an NBL championship. Before the first shot was taken in the 1993 National Basketball League season, big things were expected of the Melbourne Tigers. They came within 90 seconds of claiming the club's first championship the year before, and had added to the lineup with the signing of former Adelaide 36er and Olympic centre Mark Bradkey. 1993 was the club's best chance of winning their first ever championship, and everyone knew it. When the official season did tip off, the Tigers found the going tough. Of their first 6 games, 5 were losses, and the finger was pointed not only at Bradkey, who struggled to find his place, but at the team's captain, Andrew Gaze. The most talented team in the competition was desperate but not defeated.
We all knew it was going to take some time. I don't think we realised that we were going to get off to a 1-5 start because that was definitely a bit of a nightmare. But by the same token, I think that we're all aware that adjustment period had to take place.
Oh my, Bradkey!
As the season progressed, the well-documented emotion that carried them through last year's finals was emerging. Additional inspiration came in June when a bruised, battered and bloodied Gaze carried the team to a spirited victory over Bruce Palmer's Bullets.
Unbelievable! And he's brought the whole crowd to their feet. That is an absolutely lifting basket. I don't even know if Andrew knows if he made it. He really doesn't look as if he's with us.
And Andrew has done so many things over his career that seems to be above the ordinary. And each time you try to think, well, is this a new benchmark? And in that particular case, you've got to say, well, here is certainly a confirmation of his desire and determination and commitment.
Whitehead to Bradkey. Gaze, alley-oop to Copeland!
It was mid-season before the Tigers looked comfortable in the top 8 and playoff calculations. They had a bad habit of squandering match-winning leads, but they weren't alone. The Magic discovered that in August, when they led by as much as 21 points late in the third quarter.
Right now, he can really put the game beyond the Tigers if he can make them. Misses the first, and the Tigers have got the rebound. Copeland. Will they go for three? Copeland! He makes the shot! Unbelievable! This is one of the great comebacks of all time! Look at the Tigers! Remarkable victory!
This served notice the Tigers were capable of anything. Winning 5 of the next 7 games, they ended the regular season with 16 wins and 10 losses, securing third position behind the Perth Wildcats and the South East Melbourne Magic.
This is Grand Theft basketball.
We were going into the final series, say in the start of the quarterfinals, comfortable in the fact that we'd done as much work as it was reasonably asked to do, and it was time now to put up.
Late in September, the Tigers embarked on their 5th consecutive finals campaign with a best-of-3 quarter-final series against the Illawarra Hawks, the league's band of overachievers. At their home, the Snake Pit, the Hawks commanded respect. This season, only 3 teams had left Wollongong with a victory. With the locals packed to the rafters, Andrew Gaze led the assault, notching up 17 points in the first quarter.
Went back to Gaze. He pulled up for a three-point shot. He must have heard you, John Pottinger. Really trying to shut Gaze down. What a long-range bomb!
Before the game, a lot of the players, I think we were all fairly anxious about this series that we're going to have against the Hawks, but because we went out there and we were able to get the jump on them right from the word go, I think that immediately eased a lot of the pressure and a lot of the tension that we're all feeling. And from that point onwards, against the Hawks, I think that we're always going to have the advantage.
Oh, big jam from Bradkey.
Veteran Chuck Harmison started to kick some life into what had been a one-way contest. And with a minute remaining in the third term, the Hawks had clawed back to within 6 points.
Thomas, nice pass, Harmison. Takes 2. And once again, 2 players end up on the ground. Corcoran pulls up, he'll take a shot. No, he won't. He goes into Harmison. Why not? Harmison takes 2. He'll count, he'll over the line. And Harmison goes across and has something to say to the Tigers bench. Oh, Hayes to his right. He goes to Hayes. Hayes takes 2 points. And they've got it to 6. Here come the Illawarra Hawks.
An upset was still obtainable in the final quarter, but Leonard Copeland answered all challenges, and the game went beyond the Hawks' reach.
They trail by 10. Takes the 2 points. Copeland, 3-point shot. He hits it. Corcoran drives. Oh, was cut out by Gaze with quick hands, and it's 3-on-1. Alley-oop pass and slammed away.
The Tigers took the opening honours, 107 to the Hawks' 95. Copeland's 36 points was a season high. Gaze had his usual 37.
Copeland for 3 again. Not good enough now. Steele. And he's racking up some points early.
By the time Game 2 of the quarter-final series came around 3 nights later, the Hawks had already learnt a valuable lesson. In Melbourne, they were not going to end their season surrendering to the Tigers' physical prowess. Perhaps they were too anxious. 3 fouls in the first minute allowed the home side to gain the early advantage. Copeland again doing the damage.
That's really good defense. Gaze alley-oop to Copeland. Now another chance for Melbourne. Copeland for 3. Bradkey, Copeland. He takes the 3-point shot and knocks it down.
Unable to match it with the much bigger Tiger front line, the Hawks looked outside to Mick Corcoran.
To Corcoran. Good teamwork, Illawarra.
Giddy now replacing the job that Sidley did on Thomas. And Corcoran again, I said he could shoot, and he can.
All of a sudden, the Tigers were trailing at the first break. Again, Copeland halted the Hawks' momentum. At the final break, the Tigers had a 9-point lead. A semi-final berth looked assured before the Hawks caught the Tigers napping.
Hayes, he's got Corcoran there for 3. Knocks it down. 3-point ball game, 2.5 left. Misses the rebound to Harmison. Oh, can't put it in, another chance. Hayes, back to Corcoran now for 3. Knocks it down again. Corcoran up to 25 points. It's a 3-point
6-point ball game. 1:45 left on the clock.
The wake-up call was answered and the Tigers steadied at the free throw line to eventually win by 10 points, signalling the close of a gallant Hawks season.
There really wasn't much margin in that. Those games could have easily gone the other way, and we had to play very, very well to win the first game. We didn't play as well the second game, but well enough to win, and but not without a hell of a battle. And I think Illawarra was a much underrated team all through the year, and they ought to be very pleased with their season, and we were very pleased to beat them.
The next hurdle looming was a semi-final showdown with arch rivals, the South East Melbourne Magic.
We look at the Magic as being the cockiest team in the NBL. I don't know if it's because they won the championship or not, but they're arrogant. When they walk on the floor, they don't really want to shake their hand. And we had to prove to them that we could really beat them. I mean, we just beat them on a big three that I made the game before, and we had to go out and show them that we could really beat them.
Last year's grand finalists locked horns again, this time in the best-of-3 semi-final series. They may share the Flinders Park court and a degree of respect for one another, but their game plans vary greatly.
In the balance, it was better to try to maintain an attitude of adventure, if you like, and perhaps an excitement and of entertainment, and something that the players enjoyed playing. And so from a coaching point of view, I was always trying to walk the fine balance of being overly restrictive and encouraging the adventure.
For the best part of 10 years, Andrew Gaze has been responsible for igniting the adventurous spark. As usual, Darren Lucas had the job of hounding the Tigers' playmaker.
The media have really plugged Melbourne Tigers to win this. I think basically because they want Andrew to get a premiership. And it's probably worked in our favour because they did beat us last time by a point on the buzzer. We had a great game except for 8 minutes of basketball. But I think because of the way the media's treated us this last week, it's got our backs up a bit, and plus they beat us last time. So I think we're going in there with a bit more of a fire in our guts.
Success is measured in a number of different criteria, I think. But rightly or wrongly, I think ultimately a lot of people judge individuals on the success they've had by winning championships.
Come game time, perhaps too much attention was directed towards Gaze. Overzealous guarding allowed Copeland to burst free.
I'm going to stick with the Tigers. Leonard Copeland with a bomb.
Gaze, sensational pass. Copeland tipped in by Simmons. Tigers lead 7-0.
Quite obviously, Brian Gorton and his coaching staff didn't see it coming.
Copeland for 3. He's up to 17 already.
2 or 3 guys on me. I was falling down. I could have kicked the ball and thought it was going in. That's how hot I was that game.
Defence became a big issue, and much to everyone's surprise, the Tigers took the early honours.
It was an overall defensive effort. I remember in the first quarter of the first game, we'd just come off at quarter time, and the guys are looking around at each other like, what was that? We played unbelievable defence. Don't do this too often. People expect it all the time. We shocked ourselves.
He's not happy. No foul called. Side ball to the Tigers, so not a great start for the Magic.
Mark Bradke was scoring at one end and then denying the Magic's Bruce Bolden at the other. The Magic co-captain had just 2 points to half-time.
Lucas couldn't score, but Bradke comes up with a big rebound.
And another one. Great work, Bradke. Oh, sensational stuff, Mark Bradke. Our foul is called, and he is pumped.
The Magic scrambled back to be within 10 at the half.
Bolden to Parkinson for 3. Oh, big bomb from Parkinson.
In the third term, the Tigers again skipped out to a 17-point buffer. The guards were responsible for the Magic's charge.
Rebound Rose. Oh, quick pass. Excellent pass to Lucas on the fast break. And a dunk from Lucas. You don't see that too often.
He's not the only one. Some players have been in and out of this game. Rose finds his way around Simmons and just walks in for the lane. So
early in the last quarter, the Magic had the opportunity to draw level.
6 points to the margin.
that is a big play because that switches defence. It's Rose this time on his own and flips it over his shoulder for two.
Copeland was protecting his team's lead, but with less than a minute remaining, it was by no means secured.
4 points of difference. Here's a chance for Lucas de Graham. Oh, it's 103-105. 2 points the difference. Great defensive work from the Magic. Now Gaze again on Lucas. Graham. Gaze gets the pass to Sibley. Copeland back to Gaze. Pressure time. 2 points the difference.
Shot clock running down nearly to 10 seconds.
Copeland takes the shot. Yes! Oh, sensational Copeland.
Yeah, we've seen him do that a few times during his career, and this year in particular.
Rose. Bolden fakes. Now for three. No. That'll be the ball game. Fouls on Robinson. Leonard Copeland came up with the big bucket under pressure, as he has done on many, many occasions.
Well, this is going to be a victory for the Tigers. That just about ices it, I'd say. But Magic have to get the ball in very quickly, get a three, and then get a steal. And if he makes this, of course, they're going to have to get another three. So, very, very slim chance. Looks like the Tigers will go into Friday night's second game of this series, one up.
Boland to Rose. Rose will have to make the three. Does!
Clock's just going to run down here, guys. Now, the referees have done nothing, and there it is.
So, game one of the semi-final series goes to the Melbourne Tigers, thoroughly deserving victory. They've knocked off the Southeast Melbourne Magic by 2 points, 108-106. Sensational game of basketball. And as I said, the Tigers would have been unlucky to lose it. One more victory for Melbourne, and they are through to the 1993 NBL Grand Final.
Uncharacteristically, there were very little victory celebrations. The Tigers vividly remembered last year's Grand Final series, when the Magic came from a game down to claim the championship. Coach Brian Goorjian had 4 days to find the necessary adjustments to keep the semi-final series alive.
Melbourne were much more physical than has been in the past, and I thought they were more physical than we were, and I think we can be very physical. So, I've watched this thing 5 times, bang, bang, bang. Let's, is that on? And we'll, if you're going to turn some heads in the back court, now we can counter and rack a few of their guys. And I think that the next game, if it's like it is, we're going to be much more physical.
Entering their home domain, where they had lost just 1 game in 2 seasons, the Magic's attitude for Game 2 was certainly different. And so were the matchups. Robert Rose had the assignment on Leonard Copeland.
Copeland faked the three. Now shoots for 2. Shot from Robinson misses. Now Gaze drives his way to the basket. 2 points, Andrew Gaze. Rose, sensational pass to Robinson.
It's just like a highlight film out here at the moment. Lucas this time posting up against Gaze. The turnaround jumper, nothing but net.
Gaze. Big screen set by Bradke, now Simmons. Oh, Bradke underneath. Great work, Tigers. Graham won it back for the Magic. Now Robinson for 3. Yes, off the ball.
Oh boy, you're normally going to call those ones, Steve Carpino, as he made that one off the glass.
Lucas fouls off my hand. Oh, and Lucas is fired up and simply puts on the headlock.
Full Nelson.
Simmons down the middle. Assist to Bradke. Great work, Dave Simmons.
Mark Bradke again had the measure of Boland. The Magic's forward failed to put up a shot in the first half.
Oh, great pass to Bradke. 2 points. Giddy shakes Perry. Back to Bradkey. Tigers too good.
In the middle of the week, Bruce was saying that he was going to take me outside and he was going to work on me and he was going to beat me up. I was like, fair enough, you know. I had the better in game 1, so he wanted to come back. And at the start of the second game, I did the same thing. I just leant on him. And whether he lost all confidence or his teammates lost confidence in him, I don't know what happened, but Bruce just faded out again.
That'll be a foul on Bruce Bowen. He's been called for pushing Bradkey off. It's a call away from the ball. And that's his second personal foul. There you saw it.
With Boulder not having an influence on the game, Darren Lucas, looking worse for wear, and Tony Ronaldson were relied upon to do the scoring. Neither team was able to create any headway in the first 2 quarters, with the score locked at 44 points apiece at the main change.
And I think it was the third quarter where it was just an absolute war. And neither team could find their way to the basket. And it was more a question of, under the stress, which one was going to break. And typically at a time when something had to be done, Andrew made a couple of moves which were out of the book. And that was really, in a very, very intense game, the turning point.
Almost a clever steal. Yes, the steal from Gaze. Will he go to Simmons? No, all the way himself. The master at work.
Sensational move. Pictures really do speak 1,000 words, and in that case, a classic Andrew Gaze spin move. Gaze again on the break. There's the same move. Copybook by Andrew Gaze. Once, twice, caught that.
The Magic could only manage 10 points for the term as the Tigers grabbed an 8-point lead heading into the final period. The Magic had another surge at Melbourne early in the last term.
And at long last, Bruce Boland drops one from the field. He's up to 7 points.
Lucas this time back to Ronaldson inside. See if they can get it going again. Maybe Darren Perry is the man. With an Achilles injury, and that could be the 3-pointer they need, Quarters, right there from that man, Darren Perry.
With 6 minutes to play, the Magic claimed an important scalp when Andrew Gaze was fouled out of the game. Could the Tigers function minus their captain and scoring machine?
I can't ever remember him fouling out ever. That's remarkable. And there's still 6 minutes remaining.
A 9-point margin was a big margin, and I was feeling very confident, although we'd fouled out. But once again, the anxiety level just goes off the scale when you can't actually be out there and be in control of the destiny and having a say in what's going on. So I was very, very nervous, but from that point onwards that I got fouled out, everyone else seemed to really pick it up a notch, and the Magic started to gamble a lot. They were down and they had to take some risks, and we were able to capitalise quite quickly on those risks that they were taking. So, we were able to get the jump on them and extend the lead to 13 or 14, and we were able to take it away from there.
Copeland.
He's up to 15, spent a lot of time on the bench.
Mark Bradkey sits down to a huge applause. Tremendous game by him. 28 points at 63%. 15 rebounds.
Rebound to Tanner. Walter to Copeland. Dunk time. The Tigers are through to the grand final.
I don't think there's too much the coach can do or should do to try to limit or control the emotions of the players. I mean, you try to let them do what comes naturally. The only thing I am ever concerned with is that we maintain respect for the opposition.
The Tigers waited 2 days to discover which team stood between them and the 1993 championship.
He's got a smile on the face. The arms are in the air. The Wildcats have done it.
The Perth Wildcats were no strangers to grand finals, claiming back-to-back titles in 1990 and 91. Under coach Adrian Hurley, they completed the season with the best record in the league, dropping just one game at home along the way. With James Crawford, Andrew Vlahov and Scott Fisher, they built a wall that was difficult to crack. It was complemented by the best point guard in the country, Ricky Grace. In May, the Tigers discovered just how strong the Wildcat front line was when soundly beaten in Perth by 25 points. Revenge came 3 months later at Flinders Park when the Tigers took a 13-point victory. While the Tigers qualified for the Championship Series without dropping a game, the Wildcats certainly did it the hard way. In the quarterfinals against the North Melbourne Giants, they came within a whisker of elimination before a James Crawford block sent the series into a third and deciding game. A fortnight later, they again had to return to Perth to defeat the Brisbane Bullets in Game 3 of the semis. Opinion was divided as to whether they would benefit playing 6 games to the Tigers' 4.
Well, it's sort of the East versus West rivalry. We've seen it in footy, we see it in cricket. I guess it's into the basketball now.
Definitely, and it's great, you know, only having the one team in Melbourne now, so all the focus can be on the one team and try and beat those Western Australians.
Especially with Mark coming along this year, he's been an enormous benefit to the team, you know, in a way of our overall size as well. So, you know, we're going to be competitive and it's, you know, we're on a bit of a roll at the moment. So, you know, if we can maintain that for 2 more games, it'll be great.
I think as it's shown throughout the series, home court in the first match is a very important game. The Giants, we saw, took the home game and came pretty close in the second game in Perth. And the same with Brisbane, having a chance to win in Perth. And I think if we're going to have a chance to win it all, we have to win at home.
Everything seems like it's falling into place for us. And, you know, we're very, very confident that we can take it out. But we do have the utmost respect for Perth. They led the league all year, so it's going to be a difficult challenge. But like you said, I think that this is one of our best opportunities.
Fisher, first shot of the match. Rebound break. Quickly to go. Tigers go to the right of the screen. Gaze for 3. Yes, sir. Gaze to Sibley. And Sibley's found himself free a couple of times and made the most of it. Simmons the screen. Gaze shoots for 3.
Excellent start. Andrew Gaze out there. He's found the bucket from range.
There's different times throughout games where everything you touch, you're just that confident, you know it's going to go in. And I was going through one of those periods where you just want the ball because you know if you get it, you're going to be able to do something positive with it.
Back outside to Gaze, a mile out for 3. And he drops another one. He's up to 9. What a start for the Australian champion.
The physical authority of the Tigers effectively tamed the Wildcats. The smallest player on the court appeared the only one capable of penetrating the tough stance.
Cannot let the man go on that left hand. He's far too volatile to allow that to happen.
Gordy's doing some damage now as Ricky Grace.
What you need is for somebody to knock him on his butt 2 or 3 times and he won't come back in there, and that's what we did.
Gaze continued the assault and the Tigers clung to an 8-point break at the first change. Early in the second term, the Tigers machine was in top gear, Copeland occupying the driver's seat.
Pulled back well, alley-oop! Gaze to Copeland!
So often we've seen that play ignite crowds here at the tennis centre. You wonder how clubs keep on getting caught with it.
To Simmons, Copeland gets the ball, a bit of luck there for Melbourne. Copeland makes it count.
The ultimate shot, wasn't it? Grace was right in his face and he really gave that little extra arch. Their strength has been going inside all year. They've got to stay with it. Well, there's a marvellous display of skills as Andrew Gaze appeals to these 15,000 spectators to start to get behind his team.
Been huge. We've had tremendous support right throughout the year, and we've really developed a cult following with some of our fans, and that really is a big motivation for the players when the fans get so emotionally involved in the game. It definitely lifts the team.
Copeland, pass to Gaze. Gaze, lob to Copeland! Sensational play. Sibley.
Well, it's all too easy 3-4 jams.
Although the Tigers led by 13 points at the half, their foul situation made the lead anything but safe. The main culprit was Simmons with 5.
Well, Simmons hasn't come back the other way. 2-5. Simmons, that's got to be his 5th foul. Thank you very much. I would think you would have to predict the sub here, Stephen.
So one more foul and Dave Simmons will take no further part in this game.
And it was almost ironic that the last things I said before we went out to start the game, stay out of foul trouble, because I thought that was one of the critical things that could cost us. And then there were some very tough decisions made on the bench in that game as to whether we leave them in there or take them out and preserve them. And it wasn't a question of then just calling off the dogs and trying to consolidate it. It was more a question of just trying to maintain it. And as it went, we were no longer able to play the same sort of aggressive defence. We had to soften up our defence and then try to pull it together. And that was when they clearly took advantage of that and just took it straight to us.
Gordon snapping in the heels of Grace. Pressure's on. Double team Grace. Gets the pass away cleverly. Catalini's got the buckles. Now to Fisher. In a drop. Good work, Fisher.
Well, that's a courageous move by Simmons. There's a return favour from Carroll. So I guess it's 1-1 as far as endeavour and maybe a little lack of concentration from both clubs. Stephen, we made mention earlier in this quarter how it was 22-11 the foul count against the Tigers. Now 22-19. That's how it ends in play.
And all of a sudden it's a 5-point ball game. So they've scored the last 6 points for the Wildcats at a crucial moment in the game.
A minute before the final change, Ray Gordon came off the bench and impacted immediately.
See that often, but they'll take him.
See it often enough, an 8-point lead. Just about 1 minute before three-quarter time.
The match was still up for grabs early in the final quarter. The Wildcats had the momentum swinging their way.
Whitehead a mile out for a bomb.
Yeah, that was a prayer. And look at the other end, Blahoff on the break, and he'll jam it.
Did his best to break the glass.
Just well, they snapped down rings. That's a 4-point lead for the Tigers now. 2 minutes have gone in the last quarter of game 1.
Gordon for 3 again.
Oh, yes, thank you. Ray Gordon.
Dean Templeton, are these bonus points or what?
Mate, well, Ray Gordon has played over 250 games. He could do it, but he spent a lot of his time sitting on his backside this year. Torrance, can he repeat it? Bang, he does as well.
Well, it's almost like a chess game right now, isn't it? Wildcats 86, the Tigers 91. 5 points the difference.
Huge screen set by Sibley, and Torrance is feeling the pain. Up the other end, a foul on Crawford, and Trevor Torrance, we heard the butt of flesh on flesh where we were sitting. That was a huge screen. Watch this.
You slow the tape up and you see Trevor's hair going back. And it's like a truck. It's like he ran into a truck, a moving truck.
Well, critical time. Dean, I don't know whether I'm looking at it the right way, but I think a spark is going to ignite this ball game right here, and it may be a physical spark.
You may well be right. Well, there's the first field goal for Mark Bradke.
Yeah.
And that has been a long time coming.
Carroll for 3. Oh, big basket from Carroll.
That is a huge bucket from Chris Carroll. Hasn't seen a lot of minutes in this match.
Great block from Crawford. Now a chance. Carroll for 2.
Nice conversion on the fast break. Carroll can play this game.
They're all sort of coming in too close and making it very easy for the Tigers to rotate on defence. So he wants it spread out, and that's exactly what happens when they do just that. Grace gets a great drive to the basket.
Yeah, that's a good spread play, and it stops the double teaming. And the foul count, Stephen, could have a big impact on this game because the Wildcats have 5 team fouls to 1 of the Tigers. So every foul that the Wildcats incur will send the Tigers to the foul line to take shots.
On the fast break, Fisher still can't buy a basket. Now he should put it in, he does.
And even that wobble.
With 4 Tigers on 5 fouls, the Wildcats had a great opportunity to snatch victory. Ricky Grace was the man the Tigers needed to suppress.
Ricky Grace has got a cut over his right eye. It's a fair amount of blood coming through it. What they're hoping to do is stop it and tape it up while this free throw's on.
Well, of course, the blood rule in the NBL will say that if the blood is free-flowing, then Grace will have to be subbed out.
Tigers by 4 points. There's Grace with a ball. Oh, sensational, Ricky Grace.
I'd suggest somebody shouldn't smack him over the other eye. Gaze is on the hop. Copeland gets the recipient of the pass, and the trailer in Whitehead gives the Tigers, could be a 4-point lead, is it? Yeah, 4-point lead, 106 to 102. Simmons.
Forces his way closer. Another big basket for the Tigers, and they're out by 6.
Huge bucket by Simmons. Keep in mind, Simmons had 5 fouls at half-time. He's played the second half of this game protecting that one foul cushion.
Crawford misses. Vlahov. Oh, it's on Bradke, and he's out of the game.
Bradke, well, after all the contact we've seen, Dean, you'd have to say that was the softest of any.
Spot on comment, John. I was just thinking that myself. If anything, yeah, Bradke was the innocent party in that one.
Vlahov thought about the 3. Now Grace with the bandage round the head. Defence screams the crowd. Vlahov. Carroll underneath. Excellent pass from Vlahov. 2 points the difference. Grace. Under pressure. Shoots. No. Gives it to Crawford. Fisher. Oh, misses a sitter. Grace stripped to the ball, and Scott Fisher. That might cost the Wildcats. Dunk time. Copeland.
There's a statement. 15,000 people agree with it. Sends them out to a handy little cushion out there.
Grace. Carroll for 3. No. Vlahov for 2. And that is the game. The Tigers have won game 1 of the grand final series.
The Wildcats hadn't won a playoff game on the road this year. But more importantly, they hadn't lost one in Perth, their next destination.
Very disappointed. I mean, that was certainly a game that we could have won. And, once again, you got to look back and you say, oh, we did this, we did that. Maybe we would have won it. But it's gone now. And thank goodness we've got 2 games in Perth. And we're still confident. We know we can do it.
Starting the position is guard, Ricky the Amazing Ray.
For the 3rd time in a month, the Wildcats confronted elimination. The Tigers were now 1 victory away from the title. The Tigers had never won a game in Perth. A 10-year drought they would have to break in order to claim the championship.
My consistent response was that whatever happened last year or the year before or 10 years ago has really little relevance on what happens now. And we had a very special group of players this year, and I'm sure that they had no feelings about what happened 5 years ago or whether we'd never won in Perth or we hadn't won.
Andrew was telling me he's been there 10 times and 0-10. That's kind of scary. And I've been there twice or 3 times and never won. And I've never had a good game there.
Game 2 in the grand final series. As we said in the opener, the Wildcats must win tonight to keep their championship hopes alive. Ricky Grace with the basketball. Wildcats going to the right of your screen. Vlahov. Bradke, the rebound.
Good help by Sibley there. Bradke with the unusual matchup as he did in game 1 on Vlahov. Tentative start by the Wildcats captain.
Gaze dishes it outside. Copeland for 3. Great start, Tigers. Just what they wanted.
And the Tigers bench are absolutely ecstatic right there.
Mark Bradke stood his ground and the Tigers gained the early ascendancy.
Sibley looking for the ball, but Bradke goes inside and he is having an excellent start.
They have a very big front line, but I just tried to outmaneuver them a little bit, try to use my height, my weight against them. Just worked. Just one of those nights that it worked.
Gaze on, almost a turnover. Copeland wins it back. He misses, but Bradke another offensive rebound, and he is starring, Mark Bradke.
Defensively, he was doing a great job because he had a big task in trying to contain Andrew Vlahov. But when he was doing that, but also giving us so much on the offensive end, he was just always going to be very tough to stop.
Wildcat captain Andrew Vlahov took it upon himself to break the shackles.
Just take your time, you're trying too hard. Great move by Vlahov. Excellent little post up there.
Blaholt gets past Bradkey. Oh, great work, Andrew Blaholt. Leading by example tonight.
Unfortunately, his hard work was undone by the Wildcats' inaccurate shooting and costly turnovers.
It's another chance for the Tigers to extend their lead before quarter time. They're out by 7.
Very important possession for both clubs here as Copeland drives to the lane. Props takes a shot, gets the points and the bonus. It's almost a steal.
Oh, great work, Copeland.
At quarter time, the Tigers had a 10-point split. That was halved in the space of 1 minute. Midway through the term, Crawford and Grace further ignited the Wildcats.
Crawford, power move.
That's a statement, Stephen. Crawford, not the man to get the ball. He's going at it. He's lost the handle on it. Gets it out to Grace. Plenty of time to line it up. Wildcats hit the lead.
In the dying moments of the first half, the Tigers dished it back up to the Wildcats.
Gaze, will he shoot? No, it's Copeland. Makes it! Big three! So a big three-point play to the Melbourne Tigers, and did they need it? That'll give them some confidence going into half-time. That'll give them the momentum. That at the main break, it's the Perth Wildcats 60, leading the Melbourne Tigers 54.
Perth's biggest lead in the match came in the third quarter when Trevor Torrance was left vacant.
Torrance for three.
Good passage of play from Trevor Torrance. He's elated with that as well he should be. 77 plays 66, 11-point lead for the Wildcats.
Perth had its opportunities to break away, but Bradkey came back into the contest.
Gaze almost walks the ball up. Big dunk from Bradkey.
Heading into the final quarter, the Wildcats were up by 6, but Crawford was down.
Well, they do too. There's a big foul by David Simmons. He certainly was going to make sure of that one.
Pretty heavy foul, wasn't it? Big forearm jolt.
Yeah, no doubt about the intention, and there's no doubt about what's on the line in this game.
The Wildcats' game plan saw Crawford on the bench, and the Tigers seized on it.
Bradkey. Dunk from Sibley.
He goes baseline on Torrance. Props. He looks for the give and go and comes up with a bucket. And
when Gaze collected his 5th foul, the Wildcats profited.
For three. Makes it. Oh, the Wildcats. Out by 10.
Fouls were the order in the closing stages. The Wildcats withstood the pressure at the line.
Andrew Blaholt really looks around and smiles at Gordon.
Well, one of them's going to have the final laugh, the last laugh, but that won't come until Sunday, unfortunately, so we won't know the outcome till then.
9.5 on the clock. 6-point lead to the Wildcats, make that 7.
Walter to Gordon.
He's got to take the shot.
He does. Another big three. Not this time. Rebound Watterson. The Perth Wildcats have won Game 2 of the Grand Final Series. We'll have a third and deciding game on Sunday afternoon. Wildcats winning Game 2 by 7 points, 112 to 105.
We knew that they had to play that well, and we were slightly down, and they only beat us by 4 or 5 points. We knew that it wasn't going to take a whole lot to turn it around. So, although there was clearly some disappointment, I think that there was still that element of hope amongst us and confidence amongst us that we were able to reverse that result.
I was very nervous. I felt good, though, when I woke up. I was excited. I jumped out of the bed and all happy. Nobody was in the room with me, but I was jumping and looking in the mirror at myself. I don't know why, but I was excited.
The last day of October drew another capacity crowd to the Perth Entertainment Centre. The Wildcats' winning streak at home had stretched to 17. One more and they could claim their 3rd championship in 4 years. If the Tigers were to create history, they would have to silence Wildcat playmaker Ricky Grace. Their intentions were clear from the start.
Sibley forces his way closer. First points Tigers.
Good, encouraging start for Sibley.
Blaholt for 3. Yes, sir. What a start for the Wildcats.
Wildcats are pushing the ball down the floor, Mike Ellis.
They certainly are. They're taking it very aggressively. I thought they were tentative on Friday night, but they're certainly making up for it at the moment.
So it's 5-3. Wildcats in front early in the piece. Big screen set by Fisher. Didn't do any harm to Copeland. Great stride. Crunch from Sibley.
Offensive foul.
It's a charging foul. Well. Sibley. Bradkey. Copeland. Will he take on Grace? He does. 2 points to Copeland. Gaze drives. Oh, yes.
Grace isolated on Copeland. Goes to the left hand. Slices through.
With the scores tied, the Tigers went on the attack. Bradkey pounced on every loose ball.
Great pass to Sibley to Bradkey. Misses what he should have made. Gets his own rebound. Great work, Mark Bradkey. Tigers lead by 4. Turnover.
Copeland for a hoop.
Big jam from Menard Copeland. That'll pump up the Tigers back home at Alvin Park. 18-11, Melbourne by 7. Win the ball back. Grace for 3.
Oh, that's a fairly important shot for Ricky Grace.
Copeland, will he take on Grace? He does. Bradkey, great offensive rebound from Mark Bradkey. And he has got 7 rebounds already. Another chance for Perth, they're down by 5. Bradkey, here comes a dunk from Copeland. Watch this. Whoa, Leonard Copeland.
At quarter time, the margin was 5 points in the Tigers' favour.
Grace for 3. Dean Templeton.
Lindsay Gaze was emphasising the rebounding of the Tigers, not only getting the thing in the first place, but waiting until they get possession before they run off. Watterson just takes it off Gaze, and away go the Wildcats.
Catalini. No, the Wildcats come out with all guns blazing. Oh, great work from Fisher. Fisher accepted the pass from Lahov.
Gaze on the break there, goes off the glass. That's a magnificent left-handed dribble.
Giddy. Spectacular move from Warwick Giddy.
And you'd have to say, with all due respect to Warwick, that is a bonus for the Tigers. Reverse layup. He hasn't scored in these playoff games against the Wildcats so far. Every point he gets is a bonus for the Tigers.
Great for another 3. Fisher for 3. Crawford.
Strong move. Had the left arm up, held Bradkey back.
Tigers lead by 2. Gaze for 3.
Yep.
Bradkey. Gordon for 3. Not this time. Whitehead can't get the rebound. Grace. Here's a charging foul. What a big ball.
That is his 4th foul. That is a huge call.
And what clever work from Gaze.
He stood there, held his ground.
The difficult part for Perth was that it was Ricky's 4th foul. You know, it was a foul. I am totally at peace of mind that it definitely was the right call. But you're right in saying it did make them, give them some problems in how they're going to protect Ricky from fouling out of the game.
Back to Vlahov.
Reverse layup, and he had to go to the reverse side of the bucket.
Early in the second half, the Tigers appeared flat. Their big men were in foul trouble, and Wildcat skipper Andrew Vlahov was controlling the tempo.
Gaze to Bradkey, has it stripped. Now a chance for the Wildcats. Torrance. Back to Vlahov.
Bradkey was doing his best to keep Melbourne in the contest, but Vlahov and company kept stemming any flow.
Defensively, he's been getting the rebounds and intimidating. Offensively, he's been putting the shots back.
Vlahov for 3, and then dropping for the Wildcats. 66-62, Perth by 4.
Lindsay came to me and said, you can take Ricky. And I guess to have somebody like that tell you, I mean, obviously everybody on our team has a green light, or everybody, the starting 5 is what, I mean, anybody like that, but for Lindsay to come to you and say, you got the green light, take Ricky, then it made me feel that much better about my game and about our team, and I went at him.
Copeland. Bradkey trying to create some space. Giddy, Copeland again for 2, shoots over Vlahov, in it goes. And the Perth Wildcats now trailed by 1. It's the Tigers 67, Wildcats 66.
Giddy in the feeder spot. Copeland with the give and go. Copeland comes off the glass, and Copeland looks like he's full of running right now.
Copeland again. Oh, Menard's on fire.
He just kept on making all these shots, and I was just coming up behind him saying, keep on going, don't stop now. You're carrying us. You know, this is what you need. You're going to get the ball in the right spot. We're going to help you out.
Wildcats trailing now by 5. Tigers 73, Wildcats 68, 2 minutes before three-quarter time.
Copeland shoots over Grace. Oh, this is unbelievable from Copeland. He is having a sensational third quarter. Crawford. And didn't the Wildcats need that one? Gaze. Back to Bradkey. I don't know how he did it, and he draws the foul. Sibley missed what he should have made, but another 30 seconds on the clock for the Tigers. Gaze back to Bradkey, this time off the glass.
Credits to Bradkey.
15 seconds left on the shot clock. Gaze.
Baseline.
Shoots over Carroll, and in it drops for 3. What a big bucket for the Tigers.
88 plays 75. Very comfortable cushion. Long way to go. This one drops, but it doesn't. They're trading.
What a game Vlahov has had. 21 points.
Well, it's interesting if you talk about statistical history. Wildcats have rarely been beaten if Vlahov scores over 19, but by gee, they've got a big comeback from here. Tie up by Grace. Keep in mind, Grace has 4 fouls.
Great work by Ricky Grace. Almost at the halfway mark of the last quarter, and it's the Tigers in front by 10.
Fisher sits down, as does Chris Carroll. Watterson comes back in. We've got a timeout, Stephen. Scoreline locked up, favouring the Tigers by 10. 6 minutes 47 before free time. Well, easily. Copeland easily.
Tigers got out to a 13-point lead. Now back to 10. Copeland gets past Grace. Misses what he should have made. Gets a second chance at it and makes it. 12 points in front. Tigers.
Between the man. That's his 30th point for the match.
Catalini tries to reply. Can't. Number 20 as far as rebounds go from Bradkey. Gaze. Simmons will pull it up and they'll start again. This man will go wherever he can get Copeland. He's been electric.
Long time to go. Half a quarter remaining and it's all on the line here. Andrew Gaze with a jump shot. Gets to 2 and is that Ricky Grace with his 5th?
We recognise that whilst the odds were with us, that we had to make sure that we still had further to go. And as Perth proved, they produced a couple of miraculous plays to send it right down to the wire.
Vlahov, another 3. Oh, Andrew Vlahov. 24 points. That's his 4th three-pointer. Copeland for 3. Makes it.
Boy, 33 points for Lamar Copeland.
15 points the margin. Less than 5 minutes in the game. Great bullet-like pass to Vlahov.
Good left-hand reverse layup.
Gaze.
Well, just under 5 minutes. 83 for the Wildcats, 96 for the Tigers. Tigers have effectively closed down the running game of the Wildcats.
Grace to Vlahov. Thought about the 3. Now to Crawford. Another 2-pointer. Grace. Fisher for 3. He has to make it. Does!
Well, he has to make the possible. 42.4 seconds.
Vlahov for another monster. Oh, Andrew Vlahov.
A huge 3-pointer.
So Gaze at the foul line.
Well, under pressure, and he's missed it.
So a chance for Perth. They're only down by 6. Less than 30 left in the game. Huge screen set by the Wildcats. Fisher makes the 3.
Well, no panic from the Tigers bench. 21 seconds. You see another foul. This time it's on Ricky Grace. That's his 6th.
This is unbelievable.
He'll sit down. You know, it's a game of momentum out there. And of course, at one end when the shot clock stops and the buckets come up, it's all the pressure on the Tigers now. That's 6 for Grace. We'll see no more for season 1993. He'll leave the court with the applause of this 8,000-strong crowd who have appreciated his efforts throughout the year.
And a timeout called by the Perth Wildcats. What a fight back by Perth.
I told our players the worst possible result that could be obtained was a draw. And don't feel too badly about that, because Ricky Race was out of the game. It's a very important rudder of their machine was missing. And as much as anything, that was tried to help the players relax, and that they didn't need to do anything irrational.
Now look at the crowd behind the foul line. There are thousands trying to put Copeland off. This is pressure. Misses it. A chance for Perth. They're 3 down. Can they tie it up and force it into overtime? Torrance.
Foul. Foul's gone on Leonard Copeland. To Simmons it is. Simmons. That's his 5th. That's the 4th foul. They've taken about 4 seconds off the clock. That's his 5th for Simmons. That gives the Wildcats an out-of-bounds possession. Will they go early? They've lost it. No, Vlahoff got it back.
Vlahoff. Will he be the man? He takes the free. No, in and out. I thought it was home.
Goodness gracious me,
I
but
thought it was home. It did everything but go in the net.
that was as close as you want to get. What courage to take that jump shot.
It did everything but fall.
Yep, and you would have heard this roof lift as it would have equalised. The frantic foul at the other stage has prompted a timeout from Lindsay Gaze. He wants to try and organise his team after they make these foul shots. They'll look for the lifesaver in case they don't.
My heart was just in my mouth as the ball was going through the air, and it's like in the movies when you see those last-second plays, whether in many sports that happen in the movies, and everything seems like it's in slow motion. I was watching that ball, and it just seemed like it was just going through the air, and I was like, please don't go in.
When the ball went in, I could see the crowd go up like it was in. And then when it came out, you hear this, and I just jumped up. I went crazy because Andrew grabbed the ball, and Drew was, like himself, calm down, it's not over, I'm like, Drew, if you make this free throw, we're going home, baby.
So this is the scenario. There's 4.9 seconds left on the clock. It's the Melbourne Tigers 3 points in front. They are at the foul line. So if they miss this first shot, the Wildcats still have a chance, albeit a slim one, to force this game into overtime.
They can get the ball down the court and get up a good shot within 5 seconds out there. But all the pressure now on Andrew Gaze, as it has been so much throughout his career. He's an excellent shooter from the foul line, has averaged 86 throughout the regular season and 86 from the foul line. And today out there, he's 5 from 6. You'd have to say the percentages are with the Tigers.
Never been a more important foul shot for Andrew Gaze.
All credit to the man. All credit to the man. Too early to celebrate yet, but by gee, that makes the Wildcats' task all that much harder. The Tigers bench ecstatic. Gaze with the pressure going up for making the first. Rolls out with the second. 3.3. We've got a reset over here. What we've got called out here.
What's happened is that, John, there's been when the shot went up, someone's thrown a big piece of paper across the middle of the court.
Right.
So the referees have stopped the clock.
And of course, this gives possession to the Wildcats some 30 feet down in their back court. So they get a chance to be a little bit closer, almost like the NBA situation when you call a timeout and get possession from the halfway. 3.3 seconds, they've got to set up a prayer.
Tigers cannot afford to foul. They've just got to run away from the Wildcats.
Don't touch a thing, yells out Gaze. Vlahoff to 2. And the Tigers, for the first time in history, have won the NBL title.
Well, super effort from the Melbourne Tigers. Great scenes of jubilation. Great presence of mind from Vlahoff last time when he got that ball, Stephen. Didn't take the three-pointer, knew 3 points weren't enough. He wanted the foul, and Bradke was smart enough to back off. There you can see the Gaze family and the Gaze family in Perth enjoying the first ever. Is that emotion from Lindsay?
Look at the Gaze family, Lindsay and Andrew. Andrew just tears streaming down the face. Something they've wanted so badly for so long. But the Perth Wildcats, what a performance by them. They were gone with a couple of minutes to go and they almost nicked it, almost forced it into overtime. What a great game of basketball. What an advertisement to the NBL.
Well, we talked about a typical final and whether it was a worthy final. I don't think any of the fans out there, nor this sellout crowd here could deny the Tigers a marvellous victory. Great emotion, great effort. They went so close last year against the Magic. It's all theirs here today to enjoy.
We'll see if either Mike or Dean can perhaps sneak in there for a quick interview. They're calling for the Tigers fans here in Western Australia to come on the court. They're going to do a Pat Cash. They're going to go into the stadium.
Well,
there's the wife of Robert Sidley. A lot of the players' wives and girlfriends are here. There's Mark Brackey.
Mark, unbelievable. Congratulations. You're obviously fairly ecstatic.
Oh, yeah, you can see the guys there. Very emotional. It's fantastic, you know. We were down, but, we came back and it feels wonderful.
Your own game, Mark. I mean, I know it's hard to sort of analyse it so quickly. It is a fantastic feeling out here. But, mate, you just played so well yourself. So over 20 rebounds.
Is that right? I just kept on trying to find the ball and fill my hands. These guys did it all. It was great. I can't do it straight. Fantastic performance. Well done, Mark Brackey.
You sort of reflect back on these times of the hard times, and every ounce of sweat, every training session, it's all worth it because this is just a sensational feeling.
Now, Drewy, you've done it all in basketball, just about everything. How does this sort of fit into the Andrew Gaze history books?
This is the best because it's been the hardest to work for. I mean, I've been with this club since I was 5 years old. Sure, we won junior championships and we won a Southeastern championship, but this is the ultimate. And above and beyond anything else, I could give two hells, but it's from my dad, I think, is the most important thing about the whole thing.
Bernard Copeland. David Simmons. Nick Tenner. Stephen Whitehead. Mark Bradkey. Robert Sidley. Head coach Lindsay Gaze. Assistant coach Alan Westover. And team manager Ian Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, there's two more functions that we have to do. The first is the presentation of the championship trophies, and the last event will be to present the Grand Final Series Most Valuable Player. To accept the championship trophy on behalf of the Melbourne Tigers, I'd like to call forth their captain, Andrew Gaze. The first trophy that we will present to the Melbourne Tigers is their permanent Mitsubishi Challenge trophy that will be their Tigers trophy for all time. The second trophy being presented is in memory of the founder of the league, Dr. John Rasky. It is a perpetual trophy and that is passed from champion team to champion team on a yearly basis. So with all these goodies, I'd like to call the captain of the Tigers, Andrew Gaze, to the microphone.
What a
terrific effort from the Melbourne Tigers. It was certainly a memorable sporting moment when Lindsay and Andrew Gaze embraced, having finally achieved a lifelong ambition. Well, the Giants and Sixers have each won NBL titles, and starting tonight, one of them has a chance to claim another when Network 10 presents the 1994 Mitsubishi Challenge Grand Final Series. 8:30 tonight, live from the Clipsal Powerhouse, the Sixers host Game 1, before the series heads to the Glass House for Games 2 and, if needed, the decider. It promises to be a fantastic climax to what's already been a remarkable season. Good luck to both teams, and we look forward to your company later tonight.